Anyway, Mac, here we are again. Another beer later, another 2 beers later. So I'm up to 5.7 beers now. Here we go. I'll tell you how to machine the can. All right, we settled on a lobe angle of 106 degrees between inlet lobe centerline and exhaust lobe centerline. All right. So you machine the inlet lobe, and then you machine the exhaust lobe centerline clockwise, another 106 degrees. All right, so you machine the inlet lobe centerline and the inlet lobe 106 degrees wide at the base of the inlet lobe, and taper it at whatever angle you want and put your nose on it. And straight up the centre line of the inlet lobe, you go counterclockwise 106 degrees and place the exhaust lobe centre line with a base of 106 degrees also, and whatever width you chose to taper it at the nose. All right. Then what you do, since it's a 6-cylinder, all right, 6 is a 36. 6 cylinders, 6 to 36. So every 60 degrees you place a cylinder, set of valves for the cylinder. So the firing order is 15364. So we've done number 1, now we do number 5. So what we do is we go clockwise, 60 degrees from the number 1 cylinder inlet lobe, 0 lift. Just where it starts to do lift on number 1 cylinder inlet lobe, 0 lift on number 1 cylinder inlet lobe. We go clockwise, 60 degrees, and we place 0 lift on number 5 cylinder inlet lobe. And then we go clockwise and do our 106 degrees spacing between the inlet lobe and exhaust lobe. So the exhaust lobe will go 106 degrees, the centre line of that, the exhaust lobe, clockwise. That's number 5 cylinder done. Then we go in order of firing order number 3. So then we go clockwise 60 degrees from the number 5 0 lift of the inlet lobe. We place number 3 inlet lobe 60 degrees clockwise from number 5 inlet lobe 0 lift. All right, and then we go clockwise the 106 degree gap between the inlet lobe and the exhaust lobe. So we place the exhaust lobe a further 106 degrees to the centre line of that from the inlet lobe clockwise. That's number 3 done. And then we go clockwise further again, another 60 degrees. And now we're up to number 6 cylinder. So we place number 6 inlet lobe 0 lift, just where it's about to begin lift, on 0 on the inlet lobe on number 6 cylinder, 60 degrees clockwise from number 3 cylinder inlet lobe 0 lift, just where it's about to begin lift. All right, and that's where you place the inlet lobe. And then you go 160 degrees clockwise on number 6 cylinder from the inlet lobe centre line to place the exhaust lobe. All right. Now, obviously, the exhaust lobe and inlet lobe, the base of the inlet lobe where it touches the base circle, is 160 degrees wide. All right. So that's so you 160 degrees between the inlet lobe centre line and the exhaust lobe centre line is 160 degrees. So theoretically, that gives 0 lift, but it actually doesn't, as you know. So so that's number 6 done. And then you go clockwise another 60 degrees, and you clockwise another 60 degrees from the number 6 cylinder inlet lobe 0 lift. You go clockwise another 60 degrees for number 6 cylinder 0 lift, and you place number 2 cylinder inlet lobe 0 lift. Just when it's about to begin lift on number 2 cylinder, 60 degrees clockwise from number 6 cylinder 0 lift, just when it's about to begin lift, and you place the inlet lobe. And then you go clockwise 126 degrees, correction. You go clockwise 106 degrees from the inlet lobe centre line of number 2 that we just placed on there, on the cam, clockwise, another 106 degrees clockwise from number 2 cylinder inlet lobe that we just placed on there, and we place the exhaust lobe, which is also the base of it is 160 degrees wide where it touches the base circle, and whatever you tapered it up to and made the nose width, God only knows. But anyway, there you go. And now we do the last cylinder. We go clockwise 60 degrees from number 2 cylinder inlet lobe, base circle 0 as I call it, where it's just about to begin lift on number 2 cylinder, and we go 60 degrees clockwise and we place number 4 cylinder inlet lobe, base circle 0 lift, where it's just about to begin lift on the inlet lobe on number 4 cylinder, and then we place number 4 cylinder, and then obviously we go clockwise with the width of the lobe 106 degrees, and also you go straight up the centre line of that lobe, which is 53 degrees, and we go clockwise 106 degrees, and we place the exhaust lobe centre line clockwise, and then we place the exhaust lobe on there, and basically they're just touching, they're zero, they're just touching, and then what you get is 143 degrees power stroke duration, 90 degrees inlet duration, 90 degrees overlap, 90 degrees compression, and 270 degrees exhaust duration. There you go, mate.